Greetings, adventurers! Upon watching Larian's last panel from Hell, something caught my attention. As they were showing off the new character creation screen, I noticed that even though Alina was changing race, the ability scores were not changing. Afterwards, as Nick was switching classes, I also noticed that his character's ability scores were too high for a high health. For example, like you can see here, as a high health barbarian, his character has 17 in strength. As a cleric, she has 17 in wisdom, and as a bard, she has 17 in charisma. Also, the intelligence score of this character should not be below 9. As you probably already know, if you are using the regular rules of the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, High Elves are supposed to have +2 to Dexterity and +1 to Intelligence. There is, however, a variant rule for the racial ability score bonuses in the source book called Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. This rule works like this. You can take any ability score increase you gained from your race or sub-race and apply it to an ability score of your choice. However, if you gain more than one increase, you cannot apply those increases to the same ability score. For example, as a gold dwarf who gets +2 to Constitution and +1 to Wisdom, you could instead increase your intelligence by 2 and your charisma by 1. Upon making a bit more research on this, I found out that a couple of people think that this particular rule has been implemented as an option in Baldur's Gate 3. In fact, some of these people caught on to this even before the last panel from Hell. In an article published about 10 days ago on PlayStation Blog, there is a screenshot of a Zariel tiefling with 17 into Dexterity and 8 into Strength. This suggests that the usual 2-point bonus for Charisma has been moved over to Dexterity and that the standard bonus point to Strength is now allocated to Intelligence or Wisdom. Another possibility is that Larian Studio added the option to roll dices for your ability scores. However, if you use a point-buy calculator, the spread in the screenshot perfectly matches the standard 27 point-buy limit, suggesting that this is unlikely to be a case of random rolls. Also, the same is true for all the characters that you saw earlier when they were showing off the character creation screen. Personally, if you can switch between the two rules, I think it's a good thing to have more options in the game. However, I am most likely going to stick with the regular rule just because this is what I am used to, but we'll see. Also, I have a feeling that the rule from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything could make half-elves and shield dwarves a bit better than the other races and sub-races. That's because they both get a total of 4 racial bonus points instead of 3. Shield dwarves are especially appealing with this rule since they could increase 2 ability scores by 2 points. Also, they have proficiency with medium armor, which is really good for a couple of classes. That being said, since role-playing is such a big part of the game, I don't think it really matters that much if this rule makes them a bit more powerful than your other options. Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be an amazing game in the sense that part of your experience will feel very unique simply because of how you created your character. And with this rule, you can take this a notch further by playing the combination of race and class you want without feeling too penalized for it. Anyways, let me know in the comments how you feel about this rule. Is it a good or bad thing for Baldur's Gate 3? Farewell, adventurers!